So tell me about Panhas.
Well, as a kid growing up, it was one of those dishes. I don't know where it came from, but it was a favorite of my father's. Usually in the fall, because it was maybe a heavier dish, I don't know, but he would announce that he was going to make Panhas on some particular Saturday so we could have it for breakfast. It was a breakfast dish for us. So first thing you want to do is get your pot really hot, put your pork in, fat side down, render it. And while that's cooking and browning and you want to keep turning it, we can start chopping our vegetables. Onions, a lot of garlic, but that's to taste. My father always liked a lot of garlic. If you don't add as much.
So I noticed you like to use the garlic press.
I do. I prefer it over, it minces it really good. I don't mind cleaning the tool afterwards. Some people find it to be kind of a nuisance, but I like it. So just do whatever you like, what you're most comfortable with. And as you can see, it's getting nice and golden brown. Don't you love the sound of that? It smells great. I wish everyone could smell it right now. Now we're going to add our liquid because we don't want it to stick, and it is going to need some broth or stock. So you pour just a little in. Again, you can always add. You can't take away, so go slow. Go ahead, put your lid on. Let's let it simmer for a little bit on medium-high. We want that meat completely cooked and the juices to flow so our stock is nice and rich as well. Remove the pork. Now we're going to go ahead and pour the stock into a pitcher or a bowl, whichever is most convenient and easier for you. And as we do this, you'll notice afterwards there's bits of fat and so forth, and even the fat's already starting to surface, and we haven't even put it in the refrigerator yet. We do put it in the fridge. We want that to solidify because it'll be a lot easier for us to get all that fat out of there. We don't want to add calories. Speaking of fat, let's remove the fat on the actual pork pieces. We're going to go ahead and chop up the meat. You want it relatively fine. You could even put this through a food processor and do more of a coarse grind on it. It reminds me as I'm cutting this up, you know how you smell those certain smells as a child or even as an adult, and memories come flooding back. As I'm cutting this up, I'm remembering, waking up Sunday morning and smelling it throughout the house. It was wonderful. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to skim all the fat off the surface. This has been refrigerated, so it should come off very easily. Add our stock back into the pot. And we're going to add our onions. You can see there's quite a few onions. And there's our garlic. We're going to break everything up, give it a good stir, and let everything simmer. Let the onions and garlic release their flavor so that the Panhas will have that throughout. Go ahead and cover the pot. We're going to continue sauteing at medium-high until the onions become translucent. We're going to add our pork that's been chopped up or coarsely grated. Get every bit of it. Stir it. Incorporate all those flavors. We're going to go ahead and add stock. Now, the amount of stock depends on the whole process because you're going to be adding cornmeal to this. You can always add a little bit as we go along. Now we're going to go ahead and add our spices, which consist of our salt, pepper, and red pepper. Again, red pepper, if you're not into that flavor, don't worry about it. Don't include it. But we happen to like red pepper, and that my father did not add to his recipe. That's just a personal addition. We're going to stir, incorporate everything. I'm actually remembering those Sunday morning breakfasts before we woke up and we could smell this. Now we've used all our stock at this point, so adding water is fine, but we need to have the water because we're going to be adding cornmeal here shortly. So we need our water. If you have stock, add that. And it bubbles away. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Now we're going to add our cornmeal. Again, ingredients or the amounts will be on the website. Now my father always said to add enough cornmeal that it felt like you were stirring cement. And so at some point this becomes really difficult to stir. And we're going to be adding more cornmeal to it than this. But do it gradually in sections. It'll be easier to incorporate. A little bit more. At this point, it's starting to get tough to stir. It's such a rustic, simple dish with so much flavor. You're going to really enjoy this. We're going to go ahead and put in some saran wrap or whatever. Pack the Panhas into the pan. Push down pretty firm. You want it to be firmly packed. We're going to cover it, refrigerate it, and then we can pop it out. And it's in a perfect form. Remove the saran wrap. Put it on your chopping board or chopping block. Look at that. Look at the meat and the onions. It's beautiful. And then you proceed to slice it. Now, if you do slice it and you find it kind of crumbles a little bit, that's fine. This isn't a processed food. This is from scratch. It's a rustic dish. That's fine. You can take those little pieces and incorporate it into your eggs even. Add a little oil to our pan. I love these skillets. They work wonderful. You don't have to use a lot of oil with them if they're seasoned well. Spread it around a little bit. Look at it glisten. Then we're going to lay our sliced pieces upon us. Listen to that. I'm already hungry. And you can test it, flip it over. If it's not quite brown, you can go ahead and leave it on that side a little bit longer. It takes time to kind of, depending on the temperature and what type of pan you're using, but you want it golden brown on the other side. Here we go. Isn't that beautiful? There we are. And you can see it breaks up a little bit. Again, when you eat processed foods, they put things in it so it won't do that. But this is a rustic, wonderful dish. When my father used to fix this when we were kids, he'd fry up eggs and hash browns and bacon. I eat a little healthier nowadays, so I've got a slice of tomato with my egg. Isn't that beautiful? Hope you all enjoy it. Let us know what you think.